The entertainment industry is filled with larger-than-life personalities, but not all of them are known for their charm. Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood lies a long history of backstage conflicts, power plays, and egos run wild. While many actors and filmmakers earn reputations as consummate professionals, others become infamous for their bad behavior. Whether due to on-set tantrums, mistreatment of colleagues, or sheer arrogance, some figures stand out as particularly difficult. Here are 25 of the worst jerks in Hollywood history, whose behavior not only alienated their peers, but often left a lasting stain on their careers. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. 1. Edward Norton, the micromanaging control freak. Edward Norton's talent as an actor is undeniable, with critically acclaimed performances in Fight Club, American History X, and Birdman. However, his brilliance on screen is often overshadowed by his reputation for being a nightmare to work with. Norton is known for exerting control over almost every aspect of a production, often clashing with directors and producers in the process. One of the most infamous examples of Norton's micromanaging tendencies occurred during the production of American History X. Director Tony Kaye openly criticized Norton for hijacking the editing process, claiming that Norton re-edited the film without his permission to emphasize his own character. Kaye was so furious that he tried, unsuccessfully, to have his name removed from the film's credits. Despite Norton's interference, the film was a critical success, but the experience left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. Kaye wasn't the only collaborator Norton alienated. Over the years, many filmmakers have expressed frustration over his controlling behavior, which frequently delays production schedules and creates tension on set. Marvel Studios also experienced Norton's difficult personality when he was cast as Bruce Banner in The Incredible Hulk. Behind the scenes, Norton reportedly demanded rewrites to the script and clashed with the studio over creative decisions. Although the film performed decently at the box office, Marvel chose to recast the role with Mark Ruffalo, effectively ending Norton's involvement in the franchise. His penchant for power struggles has made him a pariah in some Hollywood circles, tarnishing his reputation despite his obvious talent. 2. Faye Dunaway, the queen of on-set tantrums. Faye Dunaway is an iconic actress with memorable performances in films like Bonnie and Clyde, Chinatown, and Network. However, her talent is often eclipsed by her notorious on-set behavior. Dunaway has long been regarded as one of Hollywood's most difficult stars, prone to explosive tantrums and demanding attitudes that alienate cast and crew alike. One of the most infamous stories of Dunaway's difficult nature comes from the set of Mommy Dearest, where she portrayed Joan Crawford. Ironically, her portrayal of Crawford, a perfectionist and abusive mother, mirrored her real-life reputation. Crew members from the film have recounted horror stories of Dunaway screaming at assistants, throwing objects, and refusing to engage in even basic courtesies. She reportedly threw a cup of urine at a crew member who didn't meet her expectations, cementing her status as a nightmare to work with. Even decades later, Dunaway's reputation hasn't softened. In 2019, she was fired from the one-woman Broadway play Tea at 5 for allegedly slapping crew members and verbally abusing staff. Stories of her volatile temperament and diva-like behavior have followed her throughout her career, making her a textbook example of how not to treat colleagues in the industry. 3. Chevy Chase, the unfunny comedian. Chevy Chase became a household name in the 1970s with his comedic work on Saturday Night Live and his roles in films like Caddyshack and National Lampoon's Vacation. However, beneath his comedic charm lies a reputation for being rude, arrogant, and downright cruel to colleagues. Chase has alienated numerous co-stars and writers over the years with his biting sarcasm and abrasive personality. One of the earliest examples of Chase's jerk-like behavior came during his time on Saturday Night Live. After leaving the show's first season to pursue a film career, Chase returned as a guest host in 1978. His return was anything but smooth. Cast members have recounted how Chase's ego had grown immensely, and his condescending attitude sparked a physical altercation with Bill Murray backstage. Chase's sharp tongue reportedly reduced some writers to tears, and his snarky behavior made him an unwelcome presence. Chase's difficult personality persisted throughout his career, particularly during his time on the sitcom Community. The show's creator, Dan Harmon, and several cast members, including Donald Glover, spoke openly about Chase's inappropriate comments and unwillingness to take the work seriously. Glover revealed that Chase often made racist jokes on set, further tarnishing his legacy. While his comedic work remains beloved by fans, Chase's reputation as one of Hollywood's biggest jerks has stuck, making it difficult for him to maintain positive professional relationships. 4. Christian Bale, The explosive perfectionist Christian Bale is widely regarded as one of the most dedicated actors in Hollywood, known for his transformative performances in films like The Dark Knight, American Psycho, and The Machinist. However, his commitment to perfection often translates into explosive outbursts and an intimidating on-set presence. Bale's temper became infamous following a widely circulated audio recording from the set of Terminator Salvation in 2008. During the recording, Bale unleashed an expletive-laden tirade against the film's director of photography, Shane Hurlbut, who had accidentally walked into Bale's line of sight during a scene. The rant lasted for nearly 4 minutes, with Bale berating Hurlbut in front of the entire crew. While some defended Bale's outburst as a sign of his intense dedication to his craft, others saw it as an unacceptable display of ego and lack of professionalism. This wasn't an isolated incident. Bale's intensity has reportedly created tension on other sets as well. While many directors praise his work ethic, others have noted that his perfectionism can make collaboration difficult. Bale himself has apologized for the Terminator Salvation incident, but the recording remains one of the most notorious examples of an actor losing their temper on set. His reputation for explosive behavior, coupled with his undeniable talent, makes him a polarizing figure in Hollywood. 5. Marlon Brando, the eccentric bully. Marlon Brando is often celebrated as one of the greatest actors of all time, with iconic performances in films like A Streetcar Named Desire, The Godfather, and Apocalypse Now. However, his genius came at a cost. Brando was infamous for his erratic behavior, lack of professionalism, and penchant for making life miserable for his directors and co-stars. Brando's antics on the set of The Godfather are legendary. Director Francis Ford Coppola had to navigate Brando's unpredictable behavior, which included refusing to memorize his lines and insisting on using cue cards. Despite this, Brando's portrayal of Vito Corleone became one of the most iconic performances in film history. His eccentricities, however, didn't end there. On the set of Apocalypse Now, Brando arrived overweight and unprepared, forcing director Francis Ford Coppola to rework significant portions of the script to accommodate his appearance. Perhaps even more troubling was Brando's bullying behavior toward his co-stars. He was known to mock actors who he felt were beneath his talent and often disrupted filming to exert his dominance. On the set of Mutiny on the Bounty, Brando's constant demands for script changes, his refusal to take direction, and his mistreatment of the crew ballooned the film's budget and production schedule. While Brando's legacy as a groundbreaking actor remains intact, his reputation as a difficult and often cruel colleague is equally well documented. 6. Katherine Heigl, the ungrateful complainer. Katherine Heigl rose to fame with her role as Dr. Izzy Stevens on the hit medical drama Grey's Anatomy, and cemented her status as a rom-com queen with films like Knocked Up. However, her rise to stardom was accompanied by a growing reputation for being ungrateful, difficult, and overly critical of the projects that made her famous. Heigl's outspoken nature has burned bridges in both television and film, leaving many industry insiders reluctant to work with her. One of the incidents that tarnished Heigl's image occurred when she publicly criticized Knocked Up, the film that helped launch her movie career. In a 2008 interview, she called the film a little sexist, which reportedly infuriated its director Judd Apatow and co-star Seth Rogen. Her comments were seen as a betrayal, given the film's success and her integral role in its popularity. Heigl also alienated the Grey's Anatomy team when she withdrew her name from Emmy consideration, citing dissatisfaction with the show's writing. This move was perceived as a slap in the face to the show's creators and writers, particularly Shonda Rhimes, who later admitted that working with Heigl had been a challenge. Over time, Heigl's complaints and public remarks created a narrative of ingratitude, leading to her decline in popularity and a significant slowdown in her career. 9. James Cameron. The tyrannical visionary James Cameron is one of the most successful filmmakers of all time, responsible for blockbuster hits like Titanic, Avatar, and The Terminator. While his films have earned billions and garnered critical acclaim, Cameron's perfectionism and tyrannical approach to directing have made him notorious in Hollywood. Many describe working with him as grueling, with long hours, high demands, and little tolerance for mistakes. On the set of Titanic, Cameron's quest for perfection led to harsh working conditions that left many cast and crew members disgruntled. Actors were required to endure hours in freezing water, and the demanding schedule pushed everyone to their limits. Kate Winslet, who played Rose, later admitted that she nearly drowned during one scene and described the experience as emotionally and physically taxing. Winslet also stated that she would never work with Cameron again unless she was paid a lot of money. Cameron's temper is another reason for his infamous reputation. During the filming of The Abyss, he reportedly lost his cool on numerous occasions, screaming at crew members and demanding constant reshoots. Although his intensity often results in visually stunning films, his authoritarian approach has left a lasting impression on those who've worked with him, earning him a reputation as one of Hollywood's most tyrannical directors. 10. Joan Crawford. The ruthless perfectionist Joan Crawford was one of the most glamorous stars of Hollywood's golden age, with a career spanning over 5 decades and iconic performances in films like Mildred Pierce and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. However, beneath her polished exterior lay a fiercely ambitious and ruthlessly demanding personality. Crawford's reputation for perfectionism often crossed into cruelty, both on set and in her personal life. One of the most famous examples of Crawford's difficult behavior occurred during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Her feud with co-star Bette Davis is the stuff of Hollywood legend, with both actresses engaging in petty acts of sabotage. Crawford reportedly filled her pockets with weights during a scene in which Davis had to drag her across the floor, making it almost impossible for Davis to perform the stunt. The animosity between the two actresses created a tense and hostile working environment, though it arguably added to the film's unsettling atmosphere. Crawford's obsession with maintaining her image also contributed to her difficult reputation. She was known to demand reshoots if she felt her lighting or makeup wasn't perfect, and frequently clashed with directors who didn't meet her high standard. While her dedication to her craft is undeniable, her cold and exacting nature alienated many in the industry, leaving her with a legacy as both a Hollywood icon and one of its most notorious jerks. 11. Sean Young. The unhinged troublemaker. Sean Young burst onto the Hollywood scene with her performances in films like Blade Runner and No Way Out, but her career quickly derailed due to her erratic behavior and inability to get along with directors and co-stars. Young's bizarre antics on and off set have earned her a reputation as one of Hollywood's most unmanageable personalities. One of the most notorious incidents in her career involved her audition for Tim Burton's Batman Returns. Desperate to land the role of Catwoman, Young showed up to the Warner Brothers lot uninvited, dressed in a homemade Catwoman costume. She then barged into a production meeting and demanded the part, an act that baffled Burton and cemented her as a Hollywood oddity. Her behavior on set wasn't much better. During the filming of Wall Street, director Oliver Stone and co-star Michael Douglas found her difficult to work with, describing her as temperamental and unprofessional. Young's erratic tendencies and clashes with colleagues ultimately cost her many opportunities, reducing her once promising career to a string of minor roles and public scandals. 12. Steven Seagal. The arrogant martial artist, Steven Seagal rose to fame in the late 1980s and early 1990s as the star of action films like Above the Law and Under Siege. However, behind the tough guy persona lies a man infamous for his arrogance, dishonesty, and abusive behavior. Seagal's on-set conduct, including bullying co-stars and crew members, has led many in Hollywood to avoid working with him. One of Seagal's most infamous moments occurred on the set of Saturday Night Live, where he served as a guest host in 1991. According to cast members, Seagal was humorless, dismissive of the writer's ideas, and impossible to work with. Lorne Michaels, the show's creator, later referred to Seagal as the worst host in SNL history. Seagal's inflated ego didn't stop there. He has also been accused of fabricating stories about his martial arts prowess and law enforcement background, further alienating industry professionals. Seagal's off-screen behavior has been equally controversial. Numerous women have accused him of sexual misconduct, and his alleged abuse of power has only worsened his already tarnished reputation. While his films were once box office hits, Seagal's unprofessional behavior and personal scandals have turned him into a pariah in Hollywood. 13. Lindsay Lohan. The tabloid train wreck. Lindsay Lohan was once considered one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, thanks to her roles in The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and Mean Girls. However, her promising career was overshadowed by a series of scandals, legal troubles, and unprofessional conduct that made her a nightmare for filmmakers to work with. Lohan's erratic behavior on set often caused delays, and her inability to meet even basic professional expectations left her reputation in tatters. The most notorious example of Lohan's on-set troubles occurred during the production of Georgia Rule. Lohan frequently showed up late or skipped filming altogether, prompting the studio to send her a scathing letter accusing accusing her of acting like a spoiled child. The letter was made public, further damaging her already fragile reputation. In addition to her work troubles, Lohan's constant appearances in tabloids for partying, DUIs, and stints in rehab created a toxic cloud around her name. Directors and producers began avoiding her altogether, and although she attempted several comebacks, her erratic behavior and lack of reliability continued to haunt her career. 14. Shia LaBeouf. The troubled provocateur, Shia LaBeouf began as a Disney Channel star before transitioning to big-budget blockbusters like Transformers and critically acclaimed films like Fury. However, his rise to fame was marred by a series of controversies, erratic behavior, and clashes with both co-stars and directors. LaBeouf's on-set antics and volatile temper have made him one of the most divisive figures in Hollywood. During the filming of Fury, LaBeouf's commitment to his role as a soldier spiraled into bizarre behavior. He reportedly refused to bathe for weeks to achieve realism, disturbing his co-stars and crew members. In another instance, during a Broadway production of Orphans, LaBeouf clashed so intensely with Alec Baldwin that he was fired from the play. LaBeouf later leaked private emails about the production, further escalating the feud. LaBeouf's personal life has been equally turbulent, with numerous arrests and allegations of abusive behavior, including a high-profile lawsuit filed by singer FKA Twigs. His unpredictable nature and legal troubles have caused many in Hollywood to distance themselves from him, leaving LaBeouf with a reputation as a talented but deeply troubled provocateur. 15. Bruce Willis. The indifferent prima donna. Bruce Willis became a Hollywood legend with his performances in Die Hard, Pulp Fiction, and The Sixth Sense. However, his laid-back action hero persona often masked a reputation for being aloof, difficult, and disinterested on set. Willis has been criticized by directors and co-stars alike for his lack of enthusiasm and dismissive attitude toward his work. Director Kevin Smith, who worked with Willis on Cop Out, was particularly vocal about the actor's behavior. Smith described Willis as soul-crushing to work with, citing the actor's refusal to engage with the production and his condescending attitude toward the crew. According to Smith, Willis frequently ignored direction and treated the project as beneath him, leading to a strained and unpleasant filming experience. Willis's indifference wasn't limited to smaller projects. On the set of Expendables 3, he reportedly demanded an exorbitant salary for only a few days of work, prompting Sylvester Stallone to replace him with Harrison Ford. Stallone later tweeted that Willis was greedy and lazy, a sentiment echoed by others who've worked with the actor. While his action films remain beloved, Willis's reputation as a prima donna has cast a shadow over his legacy. 16. Jennifer Lopez, the diva extraordinaire. Jennifer Lopez is a global superstar, known for her music, acting, and fashion empire. While her talent and business acumen are undeniable, Lopez's diva behavior has earned her a reputation for being notoriously difficult. From outrageous demands to an alleged lack of regard for her colleagues, J.Lo's off-screen antics have left a trail of disgruntled co-workers and industry professionals. One of the most famous examples of Lopez's diva reputation came from her list of on-tour demands. Reports claim she insists on white flowers, white couches, and white candles in her dressing room, along with an extensive list of specific food and drink requirements. Her alleged demands once included having her hotel room completely redecorated to suit her preferences, down to the light bulbs. Lopez's behavior has also alienated some of her co-stars. On the set of The Wedding Planner, rumors circulated that she clashed with crew members over creative control and was accused of showing little respect for others' input. Furthermore, her infamous quote in the early 2000s, where she claimed, "I'm not in competition with anyone, I'm just trying to be the best," was seen by many as arrogant and dismissive of her peers. While Lopez's star power remains strong, her reputation for diva-like behavior continues to follow her. 17. Wesley Snipes, the checked-out nightmare. Wesley Snipes was once one of Hollywood's premier action stars, with films like Blade, Demolition Man, and White Men Can't Jump solidifying his place in pop culture. However, Snipes' behavior on set has become the stuff of legend, particularly during the filming of Blade Trinity. His actions on this production epitomize what happens when an actor completely disconnects from their role and responsibilities. Director David S. Goyer and co-star Patton Oswalt have both spoken about Snipes' bizarre conduct during the shoot. Snipes allegedly refused to interact with most of the cast and crew, communicating with Goyer only through post-it notes signed Blade. Reports also claim he spent most of his time in his trailer, emerging only for close-up shots, with his stunt double handling much of the actual filming. Snipes also clashed with Goyer over creative decisions, with one incident reportedly escalating into a physical confrontation. His erratic behavior and unwillingness to cooperate left the production team frustrated and made an already difficult shoot even more grueling. While Snipes' career has had occasional revivals, his reputation for being unprofessional has undoubtedly limited his opportunities in Hollywood. 18. Joan Collins, the ruthless scene stealer. Joan Collins, best known for her role as Alexis Carrington on the 1980s hit TV show Dynasty, is the epitome of old-school Hollywood glamour. But her penchant for stealing the spotlight on and off set has earned her a reputation as one of the industry's most ruthless personalities. Collins has been accused of manipulating scripts to ensure her character received more screen time and clashing with co-stars who didn't share her vision for the show. The rivalry between Collins and Linda Evans, who played Crystal Carrington, became legendary. While their on-screen catfights thrilled audiences, the tension behind the scenes was reportedly just as intense. Evans once described working with Collins as a daily battle, with Collins allegedly insisting on better costumes, lighting, and dialogue than her co-stars. Even beyond Dynasty, Collins' reputation for demanding behavior has followed her. She has been known to insist on preferential treatment at public events and has clashed with directors who failed to meet her high expectations. While Collins is undeniably a television icon, her behind-the-scenes antics have earned her a lasting reputation as a difficult and calculating diva. 19. Charlie Sheen, the self-destructive meltdown. Charlie Sheen was once the highest-paid actor on television, thanks to his role as Charlie Harper on the hit sitcom 2.5 Men. However, his public and private meltdowns, combined with his erratic on-set behavior, have made him infamous as one of Hollywood's most toxic personalities. Sheen's self-destructive spiral, fueled by substance abuse and bizarre public statements, alienated colleagues and cost him his coveted role on the show. Sheen's difficulties on the set of 2.5 Men began with his frequent tardiness and unprofessional conduct, which worsened as his personal life unraveled. In 2011, his feud with series creator Chuck Lorre reached a breaking point, with Sheen hurling insults and slurs at Lorre in interviews. The situation became so untenable that Warner Brothers fired Sheen, despite the show's immense success. After his dismissal, Sheen's erratic behavior continued, with his infamous tiger blood and winning rants becoming fodder for late-night comedians. His public tirades and inability to maintain professional relationships led to a significant decline in his career, and he remains a cautionary tale of how self-sabotage can derail even the most successful actors. 20. David O. Russell, the volatile director. While directors often carry the weight of a production on their shoulders, David O. Russell's approach has earned him a reputation as one of the most combative filmmakers in Hollywood. Known for his critically acclaimed films like Silver Linings Playbook, The Fighter, and American Hustle, Russell's on-set behavior frequently overshadows his artistic achievements. His volatile temper and confrontational style have led to numerous clashes with actors and crew members. One of the most infamous incidents in Russell's career occurred during the filming of I Heart Huckabees. A leaked video showed him screaming profanities at actress Lily Tomlin, throwing objects and storming off set in a rage. The clip went viral, painting Russell as an abusive and explosive personality. Russell also had a well-documented feud with George Clooney during the filming of Three Kings. The two allegedly got into a physical altercation after Russell berated crew members, leading Clooney to intervene. Clooney later described the experience as one of the worst of his career and vowed never to work with Russell again. Despite his undeniable talent, Russell's reputation as a volatile and difficult director has led many to approach working with him cautiously. His fiery personality, while sometimes yielding great results on screen, has made him one of Hollywood's most infamous jerks. 21. Mel Gibson, the raging bigot. Mel Gibson was once one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, with blockbuster hits like Braveheart, Lethal Weapon, and The Passion of the Christ under his belt. However, his reputation took a dramatic nosedive due to his shocking public outbursts and deeply offensive behavior. Gibson's career has been marred by accusations of racism, misogyny, and anti-Semitism, all of which have left an indelible stain on his once stellar image. The most infamous incident occurred in 2006 when Gibson was arrested for driving under the influence. During the arrest, he launched into a vile anti-Semitic tirade, blaming Jews for all the wars in the world. The incident sparked widespread outrage, leading to his ostracization in Hollywood. Years later, tapes of Gibson verbally abusing his then-girlfriend Oksana Grigorieva were released, revealing his deeply misogynistic and violent tendencies. Even on set, Gibson's temper has been a problem. During the production of What Women Want, crew members reported that Gibson's volatile moods created a tense atmosphere. Although he's attempted to stage a comeback, his past behavior continues to overshadow his work, and his name has become synonymous with Hollywood scandal. 22. Thomas Gibson, the set tyrant. Thomas Gibson was a familiar face on television thanks to his roles on Dharma and Greg and Criminal Minds. However, his career took a sharp turn for the worse due to his notorious temper and erratic behavior on set. Gibson's reputation for being difficult to work with ultimately led to his dismissal from Criminal Minds, a show he had starred on for over a decade. The final straw came in 2016 when Gibson was suspended and later fired after a physical altercation with one of the show's writers. Reports indicate that Gibson kicked the writer during a heated argument over a script change. This wasn't the first time Gibson's temper got the better of him. He had previously been sent to anger management after an incident involving another staff member. Cast and crew members described Gibson as aloof and controlling, with a tendency to lash out over minor disputes. His behavior not only tarnished his reputation, but also abruptly ended his steady role on a long-running series. 23. Shelley Duvall, the traumatized actress. Shelley Duvall's reputation as a difficult figure in Hollywood is less a result of her personal behavior and more about her troubled experiences on set, particularly during the filming of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. While Duvall's performance in the horror classic is widely praised, the production became infamous for Kubrick's relentless and often cruel treatment of her, which allegedly pushed her to the brink of a breakdown. Duvall's on-set struggles included being forced to repeat emotionally draining scenes dozens if not hundreds of times. In one particularly grueling instance, Kubrick reportedly had her perform the iconic baseball bat scene a staggering 127 times, leaving her physically and emotionally exhausted. Her behavior became increasingly erratic as filming progressed, leading to friction with the cast and crew. After her experience on The Shining, Duvall's career spiraled downward and she became increasingly reclusive. While her difficulties were largely the result of mistreatment, her fragile mental state and erratic behavior ultimately hindered her ability to sustain a long-term career in Hollywood. 24. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of manipulation. Alfred Hitchcock is one of the most celebrated filmmakers in history, with masterpieces like Psycho, Vertigo, and Rear Window. Yet behind the camera, Hitchcock was infamous for his manipulative and often cruel behavior, particularly toward his leading ladies. His obsession with controlling his actresses has led many to label him as a toxic and predatory figure in Hollywood. Tippi Hedren, who starred in Hitchcock's The Birds and Marnie, has spoken extensively about his disturbing behavior. According to Hedren, Hitchcock was possessive and controlling, even sabotaging her career when she rejected his advances. During the filming of The Birds, Hitchcock insisted on using real birds for the attack scenes, subjecting Hedren to days of physical and emotional torment. Hitchcock's troubling treatment of women extended beyond Hedren. He was known for making inappropriate comments and for creating hostile environments that left his actresses emotionally scarred. While his films remain revered, Hitchcock's reputation as a master manipulator and abuser has cast a dark shadow over his legacy. 25. Lea Michele, the high school bully. Lea Michele shot to fame as Rachel Berry on the hit TV series Glee, where she portrayed an ambitious but often self-centered high school student. Off-screen, Michelle's behavior mirrored her character's worst traits, with multiple co-stars accusing her of bullying and creating a toxic work environment. Samantha Ware, who appeared on Glee, sparked controversy in 2020 when she accused Michelle of making her life a living hell on set. Ware alleged that Michelle engaged in microaggressions, including threatening to defecate in her wig. Other cast members, including Heather Morris and Amber Riley, confirmed that Michelle was difficult to work with, describing her as condescending and dismissive. Michelle's alleged behavior wasn't limited to Glee. Reports suggest that her diva-like tendencies and lack of consideration for others extended to other projects as well. While Michelle issued a public apology following the backlash, her reputation as a workplace bully remains a major stain on her career. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, What are your thoughts on the 25 worst jerks in Hollywood history? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. And see you next time. And see you next time. And see you next time.